big plays.
Tied up, splits the double with 8. She's going to get a shot off. He's got
Are you kidding me?
Yo, what's up, everybody? We are back on Stick Talk, talking that stick with my two guys. We got Brian and Shane. Brian and Shane, how are we doing today, guys?
Good, man. All good in the hood.
Yeah, man, solid. Feeling good. It's a nice Sunday evening. No complaints, except, we got to go to work this week. But other than that, not too bad. I know Brian's feeling good. He got the fresh cut. Check out my boy. Look at him.
Yo, I tell you, your aura when you walking out the barbershop, bro. I
Unmatched.
was like looking at cars, just smiling. I don't even know you, but it's like, I just got that fresh cut. I know you see me.
He went right to a Whole Foods after his haircut.
Wait.
right. Start walking in aisles I would never walk in. Like, let me look at these multivitamins.
Yeah, shit, baby. We need some kale.
Yeah, right.
We good.
Right. Going anywhere just to be seen. I know, I've been there, done that.
Yeah, for
Where'd
real.
you get? You got your haircut in New York or in Colorado?
Yeah. 'Cause I'm still back home, so yeah, that's it, bro. I think because I tell my barber when I come back home, I'm like, you see me before anybody else sees me. Like I'm home, I'm low until I get my haircut, and then I'll go back out in the world.
I get it, man. I get it. I know I'm the type of guy where if I don't have a haircut, like my whole personality changes.
Bro, it's different, man. Like just like you said, it's the opposite. Where it's like you don't want to go nowhere.
Yeah. It's a
Hats off. I
confidence.
don't even wear hats. Like yeah,
I definitely think it's a confidence thing. It's been a couple of weeks though since we've been back here. Since then, your boy got through a half marathon. I got it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
That's a you thing.
I'm not gonna say that I killed it. I'm gonna say that I got through it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no reason nobody my stature should be running a half marathon. But we got through it, yo. My calves are on fire still. Funniest part about it all is I finished the half marathon. Right when I get through the finish line, I get stung by a wasp.
Ooh.
I get stung by a wasp. And I was like, no way. Like, whatever. Have my little pissy fit about it. Whatever. Celebrate the half marathon. I'm like, why does this still hurt? And then, like, celebrate through the night. Wake up. Why does this still hurt?
Right.
Guess who had an allergic reaction to the wasp?
Oh, dang.
Is that the first time you've ever been stung by one?
I've been stung before by a bee or a wasp, but like nothing where I was like uncomfortable about. But this was the first time where I couldn't stop itching and it was really red. And if you see red on a black guy, something's up.
Yeah. Call somebody.
Get the Benadryl.
Call somebody. Yeah.
So on Monday during my lunch break, I went to the doctors and like got a prescription and everything. They gave me some steroids and some antihistamines.
There you go.
But we're back. We're back and better than ever.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
And that's what matters here. So I'm happy to be back with another episode of Stick Talk because Shane, you was like, dog, I got some stuff to get off your chest. And like
I got a few things.
See, and then when Uncle Shane has a lot to get off his chest, we gotta listen. We gotta listen.
Uncle, man. I can't believe you just threw an unk just like that. That's crazy. You ought to be ashamed because it's coming for you too. Don't worry. You about to be unk. Right now you bro, but you about to be unk. Don't worry.
Give it to me. Let me hear it. Let me hear what's on your chest. Let me hear what's on your chest right now, Shane A. Smith.
So, man. First of all, there's a couple of things. Let's talk about club lacrosse for just a little bit, okay? Now, my experience with club lacrosse is mostly on the coaching side. When I was in high school, I never played a single minute of club lacrosse. We didn't have a lot of clubs around me, so I didn't go anywhere. I didn't play. I was like, my lacrosse experience was basically you ball out, from lacrosse season for your high school season, and that was it. And I was able to get a lot of offers and go and play in college without playing any club lacrosse. So my experience is strictly on the coaching side, but on the coaching side, boy, it is a crazy, crazy environment. Crazy environment. Some of the things that some of these folks be telling these kids is crazy. Crazy. Not even just these kids, it's the parents too. What they tell the parents about their kid because they want their kid to go and play for them. Like, you got a sixth grader, okay? Now this sixth grader, right to left split, left to right split, can hit corners, disgusting. Has a great mind for the game, great everything. If he matures well, he will definitely go somewhere. There is a big if. That is a capital I and a capital F on that if. This kid is also 5'3". He's the tallest kid in his grade right now. And you're telling this kid's parent, who the dad is 5'9" and the mom is 5'4", that this kid can go and play Division I lacrosse. And that's what the kid, and if he stays with this group, it's more likely that he's going to play Division I lacrosse. Now, lacrosse is not one of those sports where you have to be the biggest or you have to be the absolute strongest in order to be successful in the game. But you telling a kid that's in the sixth grade, that's 5'3", hasn't really developed yet. Not really, like as a high schooler, you haven't really seen what they're going to grow into. Telling this kid promises like, hey, I can get you to go D1. I can get you to go D1. Not to mention, that shouldn't even be the that shouldn't even be the thing that you are looking for. Playing at the next level is important. Playing NCAA, great goal to attain for sure. But the obsession with trying so hard to go and play Division I lacrosse is crazy to me. It's crazy, and it's like the whole scope of club lacrosse is centered around this idea that you can get these kids can go and play Division I lacrosse. Most of them can't. Most of them can't. That is the reality. Most of them can't do it. Most of them can't. I mean, you might be able to play. There's a lot of Division III schools out there, and you can play at any one of those Division III schools. But a lot of these kids that are playing club lacrosse, I promise you, going to the big name club lacrosse program is not going to get you. It's not going to make you a better lacrosse player. It's not going to make you a better lacrosse player. Wearing that brand on your chest when you go to these tournaments is not going to make you a better lacrosse player. You know what's going to make you a better lacrosse player? And if you're a young buck, I'm going to tell you the truth. Okay? The reason why most of you are not going to be a Division I lacrosse player is probably one of or a combination of these 5 things. You are not big enough. You're not strong enough. You don't have the grades. You're not skilled enough. And you don't love it enough. I'm going to tell you right now, if you think for 1 second that Division I or any NCAA level of lacrosse is like, I don't know, a little ha-ha, yeah, it's kind of fun, you're mistaken. Your life will change when you start playing some college lacrosse quickly.
Shane, are you saying that like the product that a lot of these club directors are selling these parents are fake images or false images or dreams?
You're selling dreams. You're selling dreams. 100% you're selling dreams. And it's sad because it's like, you know, here's the thing. You can't will a kid into playing Division I lacrosse. A, And then B, even if you were able to, yeah, guess what? You made it on the team. No disrespect to Detroit Mercy. No disrespect to Wagner. No disrespect to these lower level Division One teams. But like, is it so important for you to play Division One that you're going to go to a school that has historically not been good at lacrosse just so you could say you went D1? Is it that important to you to say that you went D1?
I
Like,
get
that's
that.
crazy to me. That's crazy to me.
Brian, what do you think about that?
Yeah, no, I'm just more so listening because like it was like it's showing my age, but like for me, when I was in high school, so it was like what mid 2000s, it was like one team. It was this, it was one club team, and I didn't really know what club lacrosse was, but like everything that Shane's saying makes sense because you become, you're like a car salesman, or excuse me, salesperson, right? Where it's like you gotta tell you all these things, and you got like that 75-year-old couple that's getting their last car of their lives, and it's like, oh yeah, you need the Apple CarPlay and Android CarPlay, and you need this, and you need these seats, and it's like, no, you really don't, and it's not things that you're really ever gonna use or it's ever gonna happen. But I gotta tell you these things because you're trying to push, because the underlying theme of everything that Shane's saying is that is I'm gonna make money off of you. You're my meal ticket. So I'm going to tell you everything I can hear because yes, I want you to stay in this program. And if you have a cousin or a friend, yes, you all can play D1. And then when I charge you $1,500,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
And and
that's what I'm gonna use. And again, and I'm not trying to pocket check anybody or take away anybody's grind or what they're doing, but I feel like that's like a big thing with it, where it's just like I got to say everything that I can say because I'm trying to make sure I'm getting paid to do this for people.
I mean,
But I could
you
be
know, you
wrong.
don't
I
have to.
could be wrong.
You don't even have to give that disclaimer, Brian, because the reality is, if that strikes what I said strikes a nerve with you, then that message was for you. Because if
Mhm.
it doesn't strike a nerve with you, you out here really, you're teaching, you're developing, you're coaching, you're focused on those aspects of the game, then what I'm saying is falling on deaf ears. But if you feel some type of way about what I just said, that's a problem because you know what you're doing and you know what you're doing is wrong. Because the reality is, here's the truth. I got this. Like, imagine, as I'm not coaching the club right now, and I'm very happy about it. I got this kid. He's a 2026. He's a 2026, and he's 6'1". He's got a great right to left split. He's right-handed, but he can shoot his left. He's great. Anyway, he could do all kinds of stuff. Right? He's disgusting.
Look,
Yeah, yeah. Don't even.
this is
I'm
a
not
real
even gonna
person.
acknowledge it. Yeah. He's a great right to left split, can shoot on the run, all of that. He plays for this club team. This club team has a bunch of kids, and all these kids go, "Oh, I want to play for this club team because he practices with this club team and he's good." What you are not seeing is that same kid hits the wall 4 to 5 times a week. That same kid has a stick in his hand every day. The same kid is shooting 100 balls a day. That same kid is in the gym every day. The same kid is watching lacrosse all the time. The same kid is probably got a private coach and doing lessons on his with somebody else. And you think that it's all attributed to just playing on this club. That's not always the case. That's not always the case. So you joining this club is great, but it's not. It will not make you a better lacrosse player. What will make you a better lacrosse player is honestly, as corny as it might sound, is the love of the game. Is falling in love with the game, falling in love with the process, falling in love with all of these things, joining a team. When you have better players around you, that's all well and good, but you don't always rise to the level, rise to the occasions. You fall back on your systems, and if your systems are, I've played, in the summer, if these kids don't have a job, they're 2026, you've played 25 hours of wall ball this week, like, you're going to be fine no matter where you go, right? Because you can pass and catch and you can shoot. Like, you're going to be okay. But I don't know.
You know,
That's it. Yeah.
so looking at it, right? You know how closely I work in like club lacrosse and everything. And I get to see it from an interesting angle where I have nothing to do with all the teams, but I look at it where I could see every single team and what everybody's doing. And I also get to
Mhm.
understand the kids from a different level too. And I think it's like a generational thing. It's even bigger than it ever was, like the whole D1 or bust mentality. And what I'm realizing about younger kids now is everybody wants the accolades without putting in the work for it.
Oh, oh, man. You sit here and go, like, coach, like, I just don't know why we're not good. I don't know why we're not like scoring in these games. Before this tournament, how many times you pick up your stick? Last practice. Oh, weird. Weird. You can't pass and catch. Weird. The ball comes over to you. You're not as confident, and B, you didn't get it because you're not practicing. Weird. Like what? Like I don't know what you expect to happen. I don't know what you expect to happen. The work that what happens is a direct result of what you put in. You're not just going to wake up one day and just be magically much better at lacrosse.
Well,
Like,
kids don't understand that, right? I mean, I I'm looking at it from a basketball angle here, right? When we were
Yeah,
growing up,
exactly.
which basketball players had hoop mixtapes?
oh, disgusting ones. John
Only like
Wall.
John Wall, Austin Rivers, the best of
Yeah,
the best, right? And
yeah.
now let's look at lacrosse today. All you have to do is just have your name on the roster, and there's somehow going to be a mixtape of you playing lacrosse, right? And that's
hmm
what I'm
Yeah.
saying is like all these players want this big, uh, want this big recognition. Meanwhile, are they actually good? Are they deserving of it? No, but they all think they should be getting this stuff because they're on the team. But to me, it doesn't make sense, and it's such a disservice to it all.
Yeah,
Mhm.
dude. And watching these kids, like, and social media has definitely ruined a lot. I hate to sound like such an old head, but it's true. It's like I literally watch certain kids pull away from a play because they're afraid they're going to get clipped. They're afraid that they're going to end up on
Yeah,
Adrenaline's
that's real.
Instagram or a lacrosse network for getting done dirty. And it's in some capacity I understand it, but see the thing about it is everybody gets got.
You're gonna get got.
Everybody gets got. We all get got. But you got to get yours more than you get got though, and that's fine. You have to recognize that, but it's okay to get got. But if the game's not over, you get your get back. That's all good.
Yeah.
But don't shy away from a play because you're afraid that you're going to get clipped. Like that's crazy to me. Like all you're showing me is that you're focused on more about how you look than what you're doing, and you can't. I don't know how you're gonna. And also, like a lot of these kids, like I've had conversations with a lot of players that I coach at my high school. Um, I'm like, look, if I tell you by December, I need you to be at this level A. This is Division 1 caliber level, and I say you need to devote your life to this. You could figure out a way to get some footwork in the morning. You could figure out a way to get to the gym. You could figure out a way to get some shots up. It's not like all of our goals are locked up. It's not like you don't have any access to any balls. It's not like you don't have access to the resources. It's not like you don't have access to me and say, hey coach, I got 30 minutes. What should I do for the next 30 minutes? I'm on the field. And so you have all of these resources. You have all of this opportunity here, and you know it's almost like they're afraid to put in the effort. They're afraid to take themselves to the next level, except for those that do. The ones that do are okay. Perfect example. One of the incoming, well, he's a freshman on the Johns Hopkins lacrosse team right now. He's a defender. I've known this kid since he was in 8th grade. This kid had a brother on my high school team. at every single game. His name is Graham Kaser. Okay, keep an eye out for this kid. Okay, every single lacrosse game that we were coaching, he was at, and every single time I look over past the game on the sideline, this kid is playing wall ball. This kid is doing footwork drills. He pulled out the ladder. He's on the side of the field, dude, hitting the ladder, playing wall ball, going behind the back, and not just like ta. I'm talking about boom, 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 switching hands, like disgusting, disgusting. Like and I don't understand. I was like, you come up to me and like, hey, I want to go to Johns Hopkins. Like, Graham, okay, where the ladder at?
You know, it's. I think I saw a video of Romar Dennis being like, talking about how many kids say they want to go D1, how many kids have the aspiration to go in D1, and how it comes off kind of borderline offensive because a lot of these kids don't understand the amount of hours you need to put in to being D1 or actually getting to that level that you think is attainable, right?
Yeah.
And you know, I think it's a lot of I think it's a generational thing where a lot of kids expect some type of return immediately.
Yeah,
And the second they don't get a return, they like start to give up on it, right? So
Mhm.
I think what we call grit is you know, a lot of kids are starting to lose it. A lot of kids don't have that grit anymore because if they don't become affirmed within the first 5 minutes of them trying hard, they're not going to try hard anymore.
no,
So,
no, which is crazy because, like, in my opinion, it doesn't like if you're intentional about your training, like you're going into a training session, like that session or a week long training session, you know what you're trying to do. I'm trying to get better at this. I feel like if you're intentional about what you're doing, it actually doesn't take that long for it to start to click, right?
mm,
Like if if you wanted to get better at your left, my personal opinion is that if you were focused on getting better at your left and you had a week, no, you had no school over the summer and you had a wall that you found, it would take you, it would, that by the end of that week, you would start to be able to pass and catch left feeling good if you were to put that time in. I firmly believe that. Now, are you doing it at the, at a pro level or Division 1 level at the end of that week? No, but you will feel you'll be like, oh, okay, this is what I have to do. But it's not even like I don't even want to say, oh, just put in a week and you'll feel and it'll be fine. Because like that's not what gets you to that level. It's not what gets you to the next level. What gets you to the next level is that you just put in the work because this is what you do.
yeah.
This is who you are.
I I definitely think this is one of these conversations where we could have a full episode on just club lacrosse itself, right? Because
Yeah.
I know Brian's at a different position where me and you are, and I'm at a different position where you are. As in, you're a coach in club, I'm U.S. club lacrosse, and Brian is an outsider just looking at kids, right? Um, uh, so hey, yo.
Yo, yo,
But
I just smiled. I was
Scotty,
just like, I was like, if nobody
hey,
makes a joke, I'll pretty
yo,
much just let that go.
but
lock it in, dude.
I
What
knew
is
what you
happening?
did. Yeah, I
get
knew. I
locked
knew.
in, Scotty. But we can definitely have a club lacrosse special here where we could talk to like actually the US club guys and actually get some more club lacrosse heads in here because there are some strong feelings about club lacrosse and we could get some people going about this. But you know,
Yeah.
For sure.
the whole point of club lacrosse is to be the champion, right? They all of them want to be the champion. That's why these parents pay so much money, right? Speaking of champions, though, the women became the
Hey.
champions of the world this last weekend. The women's lacrosse team beat Canada in the indoor championship game. Listen, I'm gonna keep it a buck, right? Was I watching the games? Like eye to eye? Absolutely not, right? But
Shouts
I
out to you,
did
Scotty, for being honest.
listen. I'm just an honest guy, right? Honest Scotty Royster. But I was watching the highlights because I do care about these girls and I do care about lacrosse, and I was fiending for some lacrosse. So when I saw USA beat Canada in box lacrosse, you know how crazy that is, bro? That's like a team having a better 3-point percentage than the Golden State Warriors playing. That's crazy to me.
It's pretty impressive. That is
And
pretty impressive. And they were balling too. They were really balling.
so the whole weekend, the whole week, right, Brian? Correct me if I'm wrong. It was about, oh my God, Canada hasn't had a single team score on them yet.
Yeah, yeah, going what they call the medal rounds. Yeah, right when like nobody had scores, so that was like the part of like the joke was, well, somebody score on them, which you knew they were, but it was like definitely the nobody has a shot at beating Canada. Like they're trying to worry about scoring goals, let alone beating them, and then lo and behold,
Lo and behold, because that's the perception that I got was like, yo, like Canada is so good, it's a battle for second, right?
yeah,
And I know USA was stomping on these teams, but holding all these other countries to 0 goals is
not that
ridiculous.
big of a yeah. I mean, it is, but we'll talk about we can talk about that part too. But also like the cool thing of it, the women's side, specifically is how much different because like they're really playing two different games. Because like a lot of the even field lacrosse, box lacrosse, there's commonalities, things that you get used to on the men's side. But for women's, when you're playing women's field rules, to now we're full contact, pad it up, let's go. So like that was just so interesting. And it's just watching people. And I'm like watching these because again, 'cause like you said, I couldn't watch all of them. I tried to pop in men's or women's side, whoever was playing. I kind of would just pop on ESPN Plus when I could. But just watching it, I'm like, this is so impressive. Where it's just like they're padding up and we're just doing what we do. Because again, yeah, Canada, a lot of the Haudenosaunee women play box in Canada, but like for a lot of the countries, a lot of the women, like this is their first time just training over the last year, however long, then padding up and just watching. I'm like, man, this is like just super impressive. And just seeing them like, this is what we do.
So, Brian, you pulled up to Utica. Did you get to watch the women play?
No, I did not actually pull up Utica because family things happen. But now
Oh,
I wanted
this
to. But
guy
one of my
has a
friends,
family, dude. What? Oh my God. Get about it.
but one of my boys, he did go and he went to the game. And he was just talking about he was saying the same thing that how just like just it was impressive. And then we were talking about like just with the crowds and stuff, and then the women playing that just yeah, just like I said, it just looks natural for him.
Well, here's a little snippet. I got to interview Ali Mastriani, who was one of the stud players for the women's
Baller.
team. Absolute baller. And in that game, the U.S. national team was down 5-7 with with about 10 minutes left in that fourth quarter. So I asked her, I got to ask her what was going through your mind, and here's what she said. But there was a time in that game where it was looking a little shaky. I'm talking about in that fourth quarter when you guys were down 5-7. What's going through your head at that time?
Yeah, we went down by 2. In Canada, they were starting to put the pieces together. I mean, we knew that they could, and we knew that they would, because they're such a great team. So honestly, like I don't think there was ever a doubt. Like I wasn't overly confident. Where, like I knew it was gonna be a hard game, but this team was just so. It sounds cheesy, but like just so special, and like we are so bonded forever. And what we went through this entire journey, I knew nothing was going to get in our way of winning that gold medal. And the little pieces just started clicking, and you could feel the momentum shift, and things started going our way. And I remember the time was ticking down, and yeah, that was probably the biggest rush I've ever had.
So hearing that, yo, there was no doubt is wild.
Yeah, again, we're just trying to score, and then we were down by 2 with 10 minutes left, and then oh yeah, we're gonna go on a scoring run. But like that's crazy.
It's like we wasn't worried about nothing. Nothing. You know, it's crazy because in a game where you're underdogs almost, I guess we could say they're underdogs.
No, they're not. They definitely were.
And they
For
were
sure.
down by 2 in the fourth quarter. That's a big deal.
Oh yeah.
And, if that's a crucial point where if Canada would score another one, that's like the nail in the coffin, right?
Yeah.
So, just her having the confidence to be like, yeah, we weren't really worried. Like we had this in the bag. But I'm sure there's a little piece of her would be like, oh shit, we better score.
Yeah.
Right.
Better lock in. You know what I love
Hmm.
about women's box lacrosse is like watching them play like with the same like with men's sticks. It's so like when you watch the highlights of this game, it seems like dude, why I would love to see a version of girls playing the men's game at a Division 1 level, at a pro level. I would love to see that. I would love to see that because I think we would be really surprised with kind of players that come out because I feel like the women's game is so much more angle based. It's so much more. It's technical. It's like really pretty lacrosse when it's played really well. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, men's lacrosse is also a very beautiful game, but it's a little bit more like gritty. Whereas like the way girls play girls lacrosse is so like I don't know. Sometimes I feel like then this is the way the game is supposed to be played. So it'd be very interesting to see girls play like a version like the men's game with a men's stick and the men's rules. I think we would see something really special there as well. Because I'm
Yeah.
like just watching the highlights of the gold medal game, I was like, man, like these girls can ball.
Yep. They were absolutely balling. And I think I brought it up in a couple of the interviews where I think having women play box and men playing box and it being the same exact form, it does wonders for the sport, right?
For
Where
sure.
we
Absolutely.
we look at girls across, we're like, ah, it's soft sport, whatever. But like when they're playing box, the exact same way boys are playing box, you can't take anything away from that. And
No.
I saw some of the videos where these girls were getting lit up and stuff. I'm like,
Oh yeah.
Yo, I can't remember her name, but she played for the Haudenosaunee Nationals. She absolutely destroyed this. And
gee,
I'm just like, yo, one, stop saying women are dainty. Like I had said it a couple weeks ago, where I'm like, one, women can hold their own just in terms of just physicality, but it's like this thing that I did that women wouldn't want to hit each other. I'm like, yo, this is exactly what people want to see. One, and then two, just
Yeah.
like Shane was saying, where it's like for me, like it's like to this day I feel bad because like when I was in college, like my career ended, but one of my best friends from high school was playing Division 1. She's playing at Manhattan College, and I never really watched her play because I was just like don't like women's lacrosse unless like I just couldn't get it. But then once I got older and then the rules and everything started to click with me, that's when I fell in love with the women's side of the game and like everything that Shane was saying. I feel like that's a pure form of the game because it's not as specialized. If you play midfield, you're playing offense, you're running 80 yards downfield, you're playing defense, you're running back to offense, then you're subbing out. We're not subbing out, we're not playing. So I feel like that makes that seamless transition when they're playing box because they're just like, it doesn't matter because I play offense already. I already play defense. I've taken draws. I've done all of these things. And then someone that maybe just is a fan of men's lacrosse and you can watch, you can turn the women's game on and like, oh, it's the same thing. So there's nothing that you have to sit and think about. You're not worrying about, oh, what's a yellow card? What's a shooting space? What's a this? What's a that? Where it's just like, okay, cool. I know what I'm watching with box lacrosse, and it just seamless transition. And then if you don't like it, just because you're sexist, but if you're just watching the
Yeah.
game and you have a love of the game, then you're enjoying it, whoever's playing, and that's awesome. And I think that, and it does, that does a service to the women as well, where they can see and like, okay, cool. Let's just watch lacrosse because we love lacrosse.
if you don't
Hmm.
like women's box lacrosse, you're a misogynist.
That's a
Yeah.
fact. That's a
Well,
What
fact.
excuse? What
Because
excuse are you gonna even get? It's the same thing.
I
it's
absolutely.
good lacrosse.
Yeah.
It's like good lacrosse. It's crazy. Like
So
yeah.
I think when I was watching the highlights and watching all this stuff about women playing box, it took me some time to get used to the women wearing pads. Took me a second for me to get used to them cradling like dudes. But I will say this: I loved it. I loved it. Watching these girls shoot like low to high the way I would shoot low to high, or the way like just
Emily
watching
Hairshot
them.
doing that, like, bro, yeah.
Yeah, it looks really good. So I actually got to interview your girl, Brian,
He was
Emily
legend. He
Harris,
was
Chuck.
upstate legend. Let's go.
I got to interview her. I had to ask her because she was the captain of the U.S. national team. Which stick do you like more? Do you like a women's stick or a men's stick? And here's what she said. But I got to ask you now, what stick do you like more, a men's stick or a women's stick?
Oh man. Well, I very much love my box stick. But I was one of the few who I had my box stick strung traditionally, which I might have there might have been only one other traditional stick out there, but my field stick is strung traditionally too. So as long as I have a traditionally strung stick, then I'm happy.
Yeah, I saw that in the video that USA Lacrosse posted of you with your traditional stick. And I was like, really? A traditional stick? What is it about having a traditional stick that makes you feel comfortable with it?
I think I've played with one for so long. Going back to like my 9th grade, 10th grade year, that's when I started to buy the Syracuse sticks, and Gary obviously strung all of those. So I fell in love with it, and it was always like it's not broken, don't fix it kind of thing. So even when mesh was finally rolled out, and I stuck to what I loved. But I tried a few different mesh sticks in my box stick, and it just didn't feel the same. I think it has a different hold on the ball. So I had my uncle's childhood best friend, who I've known as, my Uncle James, but he strung it up for me and I loved it.
You know what I love to hear? I love to hear women talk like this. Right?
Yeah. How come you didn't call Emily old for having a traditionally strung?
Because it would sound crazy if I called somebody younger than me old. All right. So
but I like that.
I rock with that so heavy, bro. Like, that's crazy.
I was like,
the subtle flex too.
You
We're
know
talking
what?
about, oh yeah, Gary strung my stick.
Yeah. I went, okay.
Yeah, right. It's crazy being like, yeah, I like my box stick, and then it's like, oh, I'm such a purist in ball that I have a traditional stick, and it's like, bro, I've never even attained that level. Like,
No.
I wouldn't even pick up a traditional stick, and this girl's out here putting up numbers with a traditional stick with ease, and she played with a traditional stick at Syracuse too.
Yeah, because that's like, because Gary Gates strung, because with the Gate heads, like, he strung all of their sticks, and he strung some of the men's player sticks too, which is like, and that's like the craziest thing. Like, oh yeah, the greatest lacrosse player of all time is just stringing sticks, and yeah, but it's cool. But this same thing we're talking about, that clicks with the nine. Somebody who may not watch women's lacrosse, like, oh, why don't they have pockets in their sticks? Why can't they this? Then my box stick. And then you look, and you're like, oh, okay, cool. I know what this is.
I think having like these sticks or having women play box shows a whole nother side of creativity, because your whole, what's the word I'm looking for? Your whole repertoire of stick moves multiplies.
By far, because you have so much more hold now. You can
So-
do all the things that you thought about doing. Now you can actually do. You just put a little extra, you a couple of shooters in there, and the depth doesn't really matter that much either way. But it's crazy, man.
So
I'm saying I'd love to see it.
So I got to so those interviews will be up later also, but I got to
good job on those interviews, man, for real.
Yeah, can't wait for you guys to watch them. But Ali Mastriani and I got in a good conversation. We were talking about what helps more. Does box lacrosse help the field game, or does field game help the box game more? And it was interesting coming from a woman, because the field game for men and women are different, which causes you to have a little different view of it all. But I do appreciate what Ali said. What do you guys think she said?
I think she said, it's hard because, like you said, with the difference between women's field and box.
I think she said the field helped box because field is like women's field lacrosse is so much more. It's so much more technical. I think like you can. It's so much more centered around passing and ball movement, and I think like box lacrosse is so much more about ball movement, like quick ball movement, placing the shots. You know.
Well, she did say what she learned through box lacrosse is going to make her such a better field lacrosse player. So,
Oh,
so she was saying that box lacrosse helped her field game more than field lacrosse would help her box game. And
interesting.
Yeah, that
it,
makes sense. Yeah,
it
no, that
is
makes sense.
it is super interesting. But if you guys want to hear more about that, you'll hear it later in this podcast. But let's stop talking about the women. We give our women our love first. We give our women the love
That's
because,
right.
winners deserve the love, right? But we got to talk about the losers also.
Man,
First place losers.
They still met. They still medaled though.
They still medaled, bro. But like, come on. All right. Like, I get it. We're gonna talk about the men's national team. Came in second place, which is that our highest place we've ever came in?
Yes.
Wow.
Every other one, it was Canada, Haudenosaunee, Team USA for every single box. Yep, Worlds. This is the first time there's ever been any switch. That's why it was huge. Not only that they beat Haudenosaunee once, that they beat them twice
Yeah.
with an insane. So irony, because I think if you watch a box, like I don't know what American, quote unquote American goalie they would have had. So it's Lyle has that shot that could have tied the game. Haudenosaunee gets the save from Goal Abrams, who's Haudenosaunee but playing for Team USA. And I was just like, irony.
Oh my God, that's crazy. That's like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, he's from because where's Go Abrams from? I think he's from around like the Buffalo area. So one of the residents around there. But it's just interesting. I was just like, oh man, that's something.
But with the USA coming in second place here, is this a big step for us? Are we headed towards the right direction?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I think the future is pretty bright for the Team USA. I think I don't know. I didn't really expect for Team USA to beat Canada. I mean, official sport of Canada is lacrosse, and box lacrosse is very, very prominent in Canada. So, theoretically, it's like, would you expect would you expect Team USA to beat Brazil in soccer?
Nope.
It's like, yeah, getting beat at your own game.
Yeah. I
Especially
just
the men,
wouldn't.
no.
Yeah,
The
especially the
national
men.
team is terrible. Yeah.
I'm not seeing that. So I was like, oh yeah, but I think it's in great shape to be to still play silver. I think I think probably a lot of work has to be done for the indoor game to get even more and more popular in America. I mean, the NLL has, if I'm not mistaken, NLL has been pretty consistent as a league for how long? I don't even know how long the NLL has been around. Whereas the field game has MLL to now PLL. I think it's gotta get a little bit more popular. I don't think it's quite there yet.
The NLL has been a league since 1987. So they've
Oh,
been pretty
yeah.
consistent for a while.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
with that being said, though, a lot of the NLL players are Canadians.
Yeah, see, that's an interesting question, like overall for it, because I think like the Team USA aspect of it is cool because it's um, but the games I was able to watch, the announcers did great, all the announcers for Worlds. But one of the things they were talking about with the men's U.S. men's team was that all of their roster had some type of NLL experience and or played box before, because obviously Joey and CJ Curse wouldn't have because they're in college still. But like that's like looking towards the future. You're like the CJ Curse is probably going to be a first round pick in the NLL draft next year. Joey Spallina is going to be one. Argue with me if you want to. He's going number one when he comes out in 2026. But it's like that. All the Curse brothers, in general, that there's like is skewing younger. So it's like it was if Tom Schreiber plays, maybe it's a difference when they play Canada. But it's like this how you have young players that are playing well, that are playing box. Like Eli Grobrick, like for the next Worlds, will probably be what his mid-30s, so he'll still be able to play. But you're having American players that are playing box and getting more used to it, and it's starting to more players are playing because I'm not sure what that college. I don't know what the name of the league is, but there's like a college league that they do during the summers where they're getting American field players and they're playing box and getting them ready because they have intentions and want to play in the NLL. So it's like as that keeps happening, the gap gets closer between the Haudenosaunee and Canada. But like overall, those kind of weird. It's like again, so kind of checking the scores and stuff. It is still just very much like Canada because a lot of the teams where you're watching them play, they're not like because Shane can speak to it better than me. But when you're having, I feel like very few teams were like Japan for a field, where the Japan national team's all people that are Japanese citizens and born and raised and live in Japan. But a lot of those teams are just like, dude, like you're from America or you're from Canada and you're playing for whatever other national team, which I'm not saying it to be negative, but it's like I feel like there's still just a huge gap between those three countries and then the rest of the world.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting to watch these teams play against each other. What I want in lacrosse ultimately is for lacrosse just not to be Canada and USA one day.
Yeah, it's cool because like people got mad this summer when the men's team played who's it getting in? Oh, with was it Lithuania? That everybody's like, why is this game closed? America
You talking about
taking it
basketball?
seriously, but it's like this is yeah, because I can't. What team was it?
It's in Croatia.
South Sudan.
Yeah,
Oh, South
that one
Sudan.
too. It was both of those. It was because remember because the dude did the Carmelo did the and then it pissed off
was that
LeBron.
Croatia?
I don't know. I'm sorry.
Serbia.
I'm getting my Eastern European teams mixed up. But it was like that when they play close with South Sudan. Like this is what we want to happen, right? Like I don't want to watch blowouts. Like I want to see closer games. Like it's cool when, like again, going towards the Olympics when somebody the sister what she wanted. She won the first like 200 meters. She won the gold medals as the first one from like Barbados, wherever it was. Like that stuff is cool. Like I want Hong Kong or like Germany, like all these like all these teams to like to make it closer. Where if you miss the first 5 minutes of the game, it's 18-1, like what Canada was doing.
Yeah. Nobody wants to see that.
For me, I like watching closer games. I don't want if I have to answer a phone call and 7 minutes later the game's over. Like I don't want to see that. That's not fun.
Yeah.
I'm hoping and as the games get closer, it just shows more growth in the game. I'm not gonna lie.
Yep.
Every time I watch the PLL when they head to Japan and I'm like watching these games get closer and closer, I'm like, we better stop doing this. Like, we better take this serious because these games are close as hell now.
Japan's college lacrosse system is very good. Very, very good. And it's only a matter of time before Japan really turns it up. Only a matter of time. Yeah. And when it happens, it's going to be a shock to the rest of the world, but not to us because those boys can ball.
Those boys can ball, like the USA really needs to like figure that out. So I guess they just need to give me a call sooner or later because if they need some buckets, they got to walk in right here.
Hey, you a bucket getter? You a certified bucket getter?
I'm a bucket trier.
I feel like Scotty would be good at box.
Yeah, I
running through contact.
The box. Yeah,
as long as you're not scared of contact. I don't feel like you are. Yeah, like, that's like a big thing. People get scared of getting hit.
I ain't scared of no contact. What you mean? I'm not scared of no contact. But if you guys trying to get in contact with me about these hats, these brand new Lacrosse Guy hats are out and about.
That might be your best one yet. Best one yet.
Because he stopped for a second to get the wheels turned. Like, how am I segueing this? I like that's a good one.
So brand new Lacrosse Guy hats out with my logo on it, with the LGS on them. and the lacrosse guy. Hey, if you think you're a lacrosse guy, and you want one of these hats, DM me and let's figure it out. Link coming out soon for these lacrosse guy hats. Yo,
Let's go.
what do you guys think about these lacrosse guy hats?
That's hard. That's
It's
hard.
dope.
I'm not
I
gonna.
mean,
I would actually wear that. I don't really like a lot of lacrosse hats, but I would wear that one.
Let's go. Let's
no,
I
go.
would
I
wear
would,
that one.
10 out of 10 I wear. And I don't wear hats typically. But yeah, I absolutely would wear that. And it's also funny because the youngins love Scotty, and I wonder what the percentage of the youngins that love Scotty can actually write in cursive.
Ah,
You know,
I'd say less than 5%, guaranteed.
bro.
That's my favorite part of it. I like the cursive script, but
You know the one thing I am insecure about is my handwriting. Before we
oh,
get
same.
okay, is my handwriting.
Same. My handwriting is terrible.
So when I sign stuff, I always sign it in script, right? I always sign in script. But of course, when I came out with a hat, I was like, nah, it's gotta be cursive because it just looks smooth. So shout out to my boy Chuck for hooking it up with the lacrosse guy hats.
Yeah, he did a great job.
Hell yeah, Chuck.
Absolutely smoked it here. Shane might have to get one for that hat of his, bro. But
Oh yeah, I need one.
you
Bless
just
me.
shaved, bro. You just shaved it.
Bless me. Bless me. You know what? I gotta keep it right, man. What you mean? I can't be out here just looking like I work in tech all day. Come on, bro.
Damn.
I gotta put the hat on, man. I mean, but unless if it's not shaved, that's when the hat can come out, man. Everybody will know I'm a lacrosse guy too.
Hey,
But
yeah,
if
absolutely. And well, last thing we have coming up soon. We don't have to talk about it right now, but we can. We got Champ Series coming back, and I just saw somebody from the Mitty from the Archers that went to Hopkins is back and healthy. What's his name?
Connor D.
Oh,
Sloan?
Williams?
Yes. What Cole Williams. He's back.
Mm.
Okay.
Oh,
So
good. Yeah. Okay, because he's got hurt last champ series. So yeah,
and
good. Because I like Cole Williams, man. He's had a tough draw since he got out of school. That's what's up. Good.
he has had a tough draw, but I like Cole Williams a lot. And him being back for the Champ Series might put the Archers to be the most favorite team in the Champ Series.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Yeah, we'll see what happens when those rosters come out.
Yeah.
It's so hard to make predictions about these teams in the Champ Series because you just don't know what the hell's about to happen.
Yeah, who's not playing in the NLO and wants like the $10,000 a week?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But anything else you guys got to say?
What we talked about? We talked about D1 or bust, right? How crazy that
Absolutely.
is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But we will, Shane. We will one day. I'll let you go off one day about all these club intricacies because I know there's a whole bunch of people who care about club lacrosse more than they care about all the professional lacrosse talk we talk about. So
That's
That's crazy. That's
ju-
crazy.
maybe that'll be in a couple weeks from now episode. All right.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, guys, that's a wrap here on Stick Talk. We're all finished talking that stick. We'll catch you guys later on the next episode of Stick Talk. Peace out.
Peace.